$20 million, $19 million, $6 million. These are all awards recovered for clients of Phillips Law Firm. To win big, you have to fight big. And Phillips Law has been fighting the too big to fail insurance industry for decades. Not every case will have a multi-million-dollar outcome, but Phillips Law will fight just as hard to recover the outcome you deserve. If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident or on the job, call or click today at 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.
Wenatchee is gorgeous in the spring with its lush green rolling hills, abundant wildflowers everywhere, and the views of the Columbia River. The local food scene offers an abundant selection of authentic international cuisines featuring the unique farm-fresh ingredients of the region. Wenatchee is also home to award-winning wines, handcrafted hard ciders, and a talented handful of local brewers producing fine craft beers. Visit Wenatchee, the heart of Washington State.
Your driver's license is important so you can get back and forth to work, get your kids to school, and back and forth to daycare. If your license has been suspended because you can't pay your tickets, you can't do any of those things. Let's talk about Chapter 13 bankruptcy. You may have heard that tickets cannot be discharged, but they can be dealt with in a Chapter 13 case. Why not come in for a free consultation? The chapter you choose will make all the difference to your getting back legally on the road. Let's design a plan to pay off your tickets and restore your license immediately. I'm attorney Travis Gagne. Please contact me today at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com.
99.9 KISW, the Rock of Seattle. This is nuts, man. After being forgotten in a desk drawer for almost 35 years, a sealed copy of the Nintendo video game Super Mario Bros. Sold at auction on Friday for $660,000.
Oh, man.
Wow. Turns out the most ever paid for a video game. How about this, man? You know, talk about somebody just going, I don't care. Thanks for the gift. The cartridge was purchased as a Christmas gift in 1986 and left untouched until the seller found it earlier this year. So I don't know if he's the one that bought it as a gift and just forgot about it, but I guess he must have. He said it stayed at the bottom of my office desk this whole time since the day I bought it. I never thought anything about it. So he bought it, must have been for somebody, and I know I've forgotten. Like, I buy Christmas gifts sometimes earlier than, obviously the time of season, a lot of people do, but then I forget where I put them. And I wonder if that's what happened here.
How about that? Like, let me go check in the bottom of my office. I think let's see what it's worth. And maybe it's worth like a couple $100, and it's $600,000.
Dude, yeah. I watch a lot of Pawn Stars. Yeah. And when they get those unsealed, like they did one recently where they brought it in an unsealed one of Punch Out. Mike Tyson's Punch Out, and it's
you mean a sealed copy?
Sealed copy, and it was like graded, and it was like 96%, and he wanted like $1 million for it, and they were like, "Yeah, it's worth that much."
Wow,
it's crazy.
And you don't play it, so it's just there as a collector's piece.
Oh
obviously.
Yep.
Yeah, this one here, and that's the thing. If it's sealed, they said this is the finest copy known to have been professionally graded at auction.
That's crazy.
So it might even been even in better condition than that Mike Tyson's Punch Out. It went on sale back in 86, Super Mario Brothers, and Nintendo changed the packaging in early 1987, so only a small number of what this guy had were sold.
Oh, there you go.
Damn, that's even crazier.
How about somebody out there had that game and they, played it like most people do, and they're just hearing this story and they're just like, I had that unique version of this game and I played it to the point where I had to blow into it to make it work.
Yeah.
I know I spit in that game.
Yeah. Yeah, back in 1985 copy of that game was sold for $114,000 last July. That was the most ever paid for a video game at auction. Well, $600,000 killed that.
Well, it's funny, too, because I have my old NES set up at my house, too, and I have, like, my Nintendo 64, so it's just kind of plug and play on my TV, and I have all these old games, but like Steve said, at that point, they are not in the finest condition. They still all play, though, so that's all I care about.
Right, they're just useless now. I mean, I think about all the Atari games, especially, and even Nintendo. I had so many of those games, and I'm sure some of them are worth a pretty penny had I never opened them, but then what was the point of having it?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, there's no way you go back to 1986 and tell Steve, listen, just keep this in a drawer. Don't open it.
I will say that nostalgia it pays top dollar. Because even a few years ago, I never had Super Mario Brothers 3. I for some reason just never had that game. So I went to like a collectible store and I was thinking that I was going to pay like $10 for it. And they're like, yeah, it's going to be $65. And I was like, huh? Like, that's how much I pay for a PlayStation 3 game or a PlayStation 4 game. You know, it's like, what's happening here?
Yeah, man, it is. And I, of course, threw all of Joey's games out or made him give them away.
You jerk. Yeah. How about somebody said my dad sold my Virtual Boy by Nintendo, which is a super rare console, for little to no money while I was at school. Pissed me off.
Oh, the Virtual Boy.
I don't even remember Virtual Boy.
It was terrible. So it was supposed to be 3D, but only came in like red and black colors. And it was supposed to be portable, but you could only play it on a table.
Oh.
And it was one of their worst things ever because you couldn't play it. It would give you a headache after like 10 minutes.
Oh, I didn't care. I still played the crap out of it. I didn't own it, but my next door neighbor did.
I've never seen this one.
Yeah, we would go outside and play, like, because we were told to go play outside. We'd play this guy.
See, the only time I ever played it was because the Blockbuster by my house had one. So we tried to play it there, and we tried to play like Mario Tennis or something. I got a headache and just never went back.
So you didn't need a TV for this. All you had to do is just put the goggles on.
Yeah, it's like a viewfinder.
Well, you don't even put the goggles on.
Right,
you have to like rest your face.
into
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
You can buy one now for about $279.
I mean,
That's cheaper than Super Mario Brothers 3 on eBay.
You know, Christmas, guys.
Virtual Boy.
Cool, I'll get you a headache for Christmas, Steve.
Yeah. Get that old headache feeling back.
So I was working for Nintendo, and they took Mike Tyson's name off of the Punch-Out game, and they were liquidating them at the Nintendo store for $10 each. I should have bought a bunch of those because they go for big money these days.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. But how do you know? You see,
You don't.
if you're a true collector, you just have to collect everything, which means you look like a pack rat crazy person, but then that's how you basically have the items because you just get everything.
Or you're like this guy who didn't even think he had anything of value, and then just on a whim remembered that he had it.
That's like the lottery at that point.
True.
You know, I mean, because that easily could have been something else he bought that's worth absolutely nothing that he's had since 1980. I've got some comics that are in great shape from the 80s, but nobody cares. They're still worth nothing. You know, I mean, it's right. And every year I check, I'm like, I wonder if I would check every title I'd have, and it was just nobody cares about these. Like, it was one of the worst times to buy comics was the 80s, apparently. And I'm like, oh, great. Well, those are the only ones I have left, and nobody wants them.
I feel like the same thing happened with Pokemon. They're like, oh, there's so many cards out there. They're never going to be a thing. Like, I mean, they were fun to play with, but I don't think anybody expected the popularity to last this long. Like, people are playing with their kids, kind of a situation. And now, you know, Charizard is super expensive if you want to get the OG one. And I very much regret losing all mine.
Oh, yeah.
I had some pretty awesome ones.
Somebody just said they sold their first edition Charizard for $30. It's a 12-year-old kid. Now it's the most sought-after retirement money Pokemon card.
And, you know, as a kid, $30 was amazing. You just thought, this is insane that you're going to give me $30 for this. Just like all the Magic the Gathering players who are kicking themselves because they thought they were getting big money for all the special cards they sold, and they just continued to go up and go crazy.
Oh, hi, me. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Rev, I didn't mean to bring it up.
Yeah. Selling Magic cards so I could get some food at Denny's. While playing more Magic cards, and now those cards going for anywhere between $500 and $1,000 a pop, and I was selling them for $5 a piece.
Good job, buddy.
Yeah.
What'd you get at Denny's, though?
Usually the Moon's over Miami.
It's always worth it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good call. I mean, the Moon's over Miami. That's worth, $1,000 right there.
Sure.
A few weeks ago, some people online started talking about how Amazon workers sometimes had to pee in bottles. Especially like some of the delivery drivers is like, because they have quite a schedule. They have got to get the packages to people's doorways. And a lot of folks said, man, it is really difficult to be a delivery driver. And Amazon immediately fired off a tweet saying, quote, no. You don't believe that peeing in bottles thing, do you? If that were true, nobody would work for us. Well, guess what? Turns out it is true.
Wow. Well, then they should double down on that. Be like, look, we're so awesome that people are still willing to work for us and they have to pee in a bottle. That's probably not the look you want to have, though.
No, that's not, you can't double down on that, Steve. No. You're right. Sometimes you do, but yeah, they had to put out an apology. They did it on Friday. Amazon said, yeah, we admit that some of our workers have been peeing in bottles. Do
you think the Twitter, whoever runs their Twitter and their social media is like, wait a second, we have people really doing that? I didn't think I had to run that one up the chain to make sure. Like, they probably thought I could confidently say on Twitter that we do not have employees peeing in bottles.
That's a tough one, Steve. You don't know if someone's looking over their shoulder telling them to say that. Yeah, but you're right. Sometimes you have to make the call since you're the PR person, and nowadays PR is Twitter, social media. So you're the one that's got to make that that instant comment, because that's how everything is. People want an answer right away.
Yeah, I'm looking at the tweet from March 24th when they said, you don't really believe peeing in bottles is a thing, do you? If that was true, no one would work for us. The truth is we have over 1 million incredible employees around the world who are proud of what they do and have great wages and health care from day one. We hope you can enact that, and then a bunch of other stuff. But
oh, they're addressing everything that's been thrown at them. They went back. We're not only am I going to tell you the peeing is, but don't forget we're a great company and people love us.
Oh my God! Today, their Twitter handle just wrote "my bad." No, I'm kidding. They didn't really write that.
That'd be amazing.
They should.
I just love the way Amazon had to backpedal. I love this. They're like, yeah, our drivers do sometimes relieve themselves in bottles. They can and do have trouble finding restrooms. And, well, this has been especially the case during COVID when many public restrooms have been closed. And it's like, wow, again, the Twitter person could have probably figured this out if they waited and did some research, but it isn't until, somebody finally said, yeah, I guess what they do. And so here's what they say. They said, well, regardless of the fact that this is industry wide and it's happening, we would love to solve it. We just don't know how yet.
Okay.
But we're looking for solutions.
Truck.
Yeah, right.
Ooh. That's a whole other level of awesomeness.
Yeah, just like a urinal in the back,
What about for the lady drivers?
Or maybe you have a more reasonable delivery schedule and you have more people working for you so that somebody doesn't have to basically go, I can't stop at a place and go to the bathroom. Every grocery store has a bathroom.
Yeah, but that's going to mean then we're going to have to be okay with not getting things the next day.
Yeah.
And I need that duct tape tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah. They need to do like Jimmy Buffett concerts and just get a bucket with a pool noodle strapped to the top of it.
Yeah.
And I will say that I've been out driving just by myself, and I'm not a delivery driver, and I've needed to go. And sometimes you just need to pull over.
Well, what about and there's no gas station or anywhere near you?
No.
Really, you haven't planned it. Well, see, I'm
a lot
of
gas stations will say like you have to be a customer of the gas station. I'm not buying anything.
I've literally been denied being able to go to a restroom, and I had to poo on the side of a building because they wouldn't let me use the restroom.
And oddly enough, that was outside of BJ's house.
Yeah. Well, would you let him use your restroom?
That guy came in sweating.
Yeah,
I don't know, sir.
I was sweating too. I had to go.
Yeah, he's got what we call a refutation. Okay, I don't think I would let I don't know. I mean, that's why he had to go on the side of the house.
You know what I love about the apology that Amazon made? They then linked tweets about UPS drivers saying that it's not a unique problem for Amazon. So they're like, yeah, we have this problem, but UPS has this problem too. Their drivers pee in bottles as well. So leave us alone, man. I'm like, what a weird apology. Like you're diming out other companies as well.
It is. I know. It is. Again, your last line of defense is your Twitter person. You know what I mean? And look,
well, this is on their this is their Amazon press release page.
Oh wait, that's their press. So their PR person put that out.
So the press release that you just read, if you keep scrolling down, they also embed tweets on that same page.
Wow.
One that says ex-UPS driver says Amazon's pee in water bottles problem isn't unique. Another one talks about how FedEx has that problem too. So they're just like, hey, man, we're not the only ones with this problem, so screw you.
Oh, that's not a good look.
I know. Why would you even put that?
That is so nice. Yeah, you're right. That is not a good look. It's like you're a little kid. You know what I mean? Jimmy, did you break that? Yeah, but Mary, you should have seen what she did in your underwear drawer. I mean, it's just like, who points to that? It's like you're 5.
It's odd. I thought that was just kind of an odd way to end your press release about, hey, we're sorry that we, assumed that drivers weren't peeing in bottles.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, when you're a big company, I guess it's really difficult to tell the truth. Maybe, I don't know. Hey, imagine this: since we're talking about having to go to the bathroom and the problems you have, how about you're a person that's born with 3 members and you've got to wrangle that situation? Oh yeah, this happened. Somebody was born with 3 members. I'll tell you all about this at 8:17 on The Rock.
BJ and Migs, mornings on The Rock, 99.9 KISW.
$20 million, $19 million, $6 million. These are all awards recovered for clients of Phillips Law Firm. To win big, you have to fight big. And Phillips Law has been fighting the too big to fail insurance industry for decades. Not every case will have a multi-million-dollar outcome, but Phillips Law will fight just as hard to recover the outcome you deserve. If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident or on the job, call or click today at 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.
Wenatchee is gorgeous in the spring with its lush green rolling hills, abundant wildflowers everywhere, and the views of the Columbia River. The local food scene offers an abundant selection of authentic international cuisines featuring the unique farm-fresh ingredients of the region. Wenatchee is also home to award-winning wines, handcrafted hard ciders, and a talented handful of local brewers producing fine craft beers. Visit Wenatchee, the heart of Washington State.
Spend less time in the laundry room and more time doing the things you love. Introducing the Samsung Smart Top Load Laundry Pair, now available at Lowe's. The washer's large capacity means you can fit more in every load. Plus, its super speed setting washes a full load in only 28 minutes. Shop the smart washer that will streamline laundry day, backed by Lowe's Price Promise. Based on using super speed on a normal cycle with an 8-pound load. Terms apply. See Lowe's.com/price promise for details. U.S. only.
99.9 KISW, the Rock of Seattle. There's an Iraqi boy who made history after he was born with 3 penises. Wow.
How?
Well, I guess this is an act of nature, Steve. The doctor said, quote, "To the best of our knowledge, this is the first reported case with 3 penises."
It's the first I've ever heard of something like this.
Yeah, I mean, we've had some double headers in the past, but not triple headers.
I didn't even know we had double headers.
I'm assuming, since this is the first time they said we've had one with 3 penises, I'm assuming there may have been a double header from time to time.
Fair.
So this baby was originally brought to the hospital by his parents. He was 3 months old and he had swelling in the scrotum, and they're like, "All right, there's something wrong. We better bring him to the doc." So this kid was hanging around for 3 months with the 3 packages. And that's the doctors said when they were checking on the scrotum swelling, they were like, "Whoa, hey, we got a 2-centimeter member over here," which was sprouting near basically his regular penis. But then there was another one growing underneath his scrotum. So,
Vicky, don't take that off the internet. She just found something, and I didn't want to see that.
Oh, that's
I found the double.
The double donger.
Oh, there's a double header.
Yes.
Well,
So
Vicky,
it's now been confirmed.
there you go.
The way you're describing it, BJ, almost sounds like it's like a cactus.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, that is. So the child apparently, they're like, this kid was never exposed to drugs, didn't have a family history of genetic aberrations. So this really was mystifying to them as how the kid just developed this way.
I mean, I would think too, like if you see something like that, you're like, okay, some weird stuff going on with the family, you hear those stories, or was there drugs involved? And so they made sure of all that. Do you take a picture so you can show him when he gets older? Like, be like, hey, at one point you had this?
I'd want that.
I kind of would like to know that.
Oh, I would totally want that. But these were
or do you wait till he's old enough to make the decision if he doesn't want all 3?
Oh, that's
Probably
a tough
not.
one.
That's,
That
sounds like a very traumatic thing for.
And it would be painful if I wanted to remove them. I don't know. I don't remember anything about that age. So 3 months old, I got no idea what happened then. So do whatever you got to do to me then. I don't want to have to go get 2 penises removed when I'm 25.
Yeah, although it would be a great story at a bar, but I don't know if it's like something that you necessarily need.
Yeah, and I guess these were they were dummy penises. They didn't have urethras in them, so they were like, well, they're not going to work.
Oh.
So
what does their intelligence of these penises have to do with it? Dude, so my wife threw the most random and weird question at me yesterday, speaking of wieners.
Okay. What?
She said, would you rather be like really, really, really short? Like almost to the point where you're like, like dwarf status, or would you rather have a small member? Like, what do you think would be tougher to have?
Oh, you'd have to choose. So you definitely would be a little person,
right?
Okay, or you'd have.
Would you rather be like a tall person, or would you rather be packing no heat? Absolutely.
Oh, so
zero.
You mean a regular sized person, or just the height you are now, or would you rather? Is it sort of like I'd be super tall, or
You'd be regular height, like
regular height. Okay.
Right. So it's like you're either going to be really, really small in height or really, really small in
member size.
Right.
Wow. Jeez, that's a tough one. I think. I mean, I feel like I'd rather be regular height because
That's
I just
what
know
I said.
Yeah,
because
same.
that's all the problems that little people can have with their health.
Well, and also just like, I didn't even think about that, but I was just like, only a select few are going to see what's underneath the clothes.
Yeah.
Whereas everyone's going to see your height. You know what I mean? So like if you're dealing with like which one would get more of like put you in like a weird spot, I feel like the height would be a bigger issue than the wiener.
Yeah, the health reason is the only thing for me because I don't know if I want to. I'm assuming she's talking about micro action, like you are really like maybe an inch or less. At basically when you're ready to go to the party, all you're bringing is that little action. I feel like
I FaceTimed you on this question, so you can ask those kind of like qualifying questions that I did not bother to ask.
Because the would you rather's are usually bad,
right?
I don't know. I'm already short, so bring on the action.
I was going to say, Vicky, being a smaller person, would you rather have a bigger member?
I'd rather have the bigger stuff.
Interesting.
See, Vicky's height's not bad to me. I'm thinking of a little person, somebody who's like Vicky's, like almost to Vicky's waist, because that's what I'm talking about.
I think I'm only legally like 4 or 5 inches too tall to be a little person.
Yeah. Okay.
So did your wife find it interesting that you answered that way?
She was just like, oh, okay. I'm like, well, and I gave her my explanation. She's like, that makes sense. And I'm like, plus, I feel like you could kind of figure some stuff out that still makes somebody happy.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Without, if you're dealing with, like you said, a micro action.
Yeah. I really want to know, because that doesn't strike me as the kind of question that comes into your wife's head. That is very atypical.
Right? It did throw me for a little bit of a loop. And she prefaces by saying, this is a very weird question, but for some reason just popped in my head. And I was like, okay. And I'm like, give it to me. And then that was the question. I was like, that's a very odd question coming from you.
Yeah.
And did she give you any reason at all? What might have sparked that at all? Were you watching a show? Did she see like something like little mini wieners you were eating? I mean, what was going on?
I was having little smokies.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
That's what it is.
No, there was really no reason. I think it just popped in her head.
That is so random coming from her.
Just like a random thought that pops in your head. And so like we're sitting on the couch like, hey, I have a question for you. And I'm like, okay.
Wow.
You're a better man than me, because I think I would have turned to my wife like, what is wrong? Where do you get these questions? I probably would have started an argument.
I thought it was a fun question.
Yeah, that's why you're a better man than me.
Well, so now someone wants to know, would you rather have wiener-sized nips or nip-sized wieners?
Oh, God, I had that nightmare.
Wow. Whoa. You mean they're talking about the nipplage?
Yeah.
I had a nightmare that's
or wiener. I mean, so do you want the really tiny wiener or do you want really long nipplages?
You have to decide. Okay.
That's how these would you rathers work, BJ.
Yeah. Do you realize, look, Vicky, I mean, I'm going to show you. This is probably what, I don't know, 3 inches that I'm showing you. Imagine your shirt sticking out that
6
far.
inches to me. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, that's.
I legit had a dream where that was what the nip lodge looked like.
Oh, gosh.
Except it was more like a.
It almost looks like unblown, like balloon.
Yes.
Animals.
Yeah. It would be a floppy cartoon nose.
Except mine was, before you inflate the animal balloon, and it's that really long balloon, the little thin one. That's what they were.
Mm. And they were just sort of just hanging there.
No,
or were they sticking out?
They were exposed.
Just give me the small penis.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm flagging that one.
Leave out the part where I say yeah. I'm kind of with you, Danny, on this one. I mean,
because you can hide the small penis, you cannot hide the. And again, if you're talking this, the average package size is like about 5 to 5.5 inches. So if I'm going to be walking around with 5.5 inch protrusions from my shirt, I am going to look like a weirdo.
Right. You can never go into a community pool again. Yeah. I mean, if someone came into the pool with that, I'd be like, I gotta go.
I'm out.
Steve, how do you hide 5.5 inch nipples? Are they talking the nipple itself or the areola? That's what I'm saying. The nipple itself sticks straight out.
Yeah, that part.
You don't have to. Here's Steve. Well, I will never take my shirt off. Do you realize what a weirdo you'd look like even with your shirt on with 5.5 inch nipples?
I'd wear hockey jerseys or something like that to cover it.
Or get a bra and just kind of squish them up.
Tape them down, yeah.
Oh, yeah, you would look fantastic in a bra. All right, you know what, Steve, you should go for the nipples.
I'm not saying that the turkey's done on those. I mean,
but wait until it gets cold.
I would move to a very warm climate area, though, for that reason.
All right. Well, I still think with you again. I don't know what the average woman's size is when it comes to the nipple size, but it's got to be like maybe at the best a quarter of an inch for the best for people.
And it's having like 2 highlighters hanging from your chest.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, how do you? And again, when it gets cold, Steve, they're gonna go. I mean, oh no, I don't.
That's a visual I never needed, and now I have seared into my brain, Steve.
Yeah. This is not good, Steve.
Wow.
Yeah, this is so.
I could find a new job on the circus, though.
Yeah. Oh, you would. Yeah. Jim Rose is like, you know what? You're going to be pulling trucks with.
I'm just glad it wasn't a pink highlighter.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that would have been better. All right. Well, that was. You know what? Your wife.
Oh, come on.
Hey, Steve,
There
can I
you
be on
go.
the cover of the next
Steve.
253 Lifestyle magazine there?
Oh, yeah. I think they would. This is on the special edition.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. You really. This is disturbing. Put those away.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's not the first person to say that to me.
Yesterday, Steve, he did get this one right.
Alanis Morissette had the 90s hit song Hand in My What?
Pocket.
Yes.
They're giving a hot pot
Or something.
or something.
Yeah. You want a shot at beating Steve? You got it. 206-421-ROCK. We're going to play Beat Miggs at 8:47 on The Rock.
Hey, this is BJ. Thanks for listening to our show's podcast. If you're a fan of all things geeky, you should check out my other podcast, BJ Shea's Geek Nation. We have new episodes every day, and you can check it out at bjgeeknation.com.